Hello, everybody. My name is Nathan Kladowski, and I'm a sophomore here at Lackawanna, and my topic is deviance in sport. So let's start out by saying, what is deviance in sport? It is the behavior or action that deviate from the societal norms or rules within a particular sport. The people that this happens to are the players, managers, and front office. Speaking mainly on the players, this can include cheating, violence, bribery, sports gambling, and hazing. Sports gambling has really become a newer type of deviance within the past few years because it's become so popular, and we've seen many prime superstars in the NFL and MLB that have got suspended for sports gambling. The importance to the study of sociology. So, why is it important to sociology? First, it's the reflection of norms. Sociologists can identify attitudes towards competition and success, the media representation. Sociologists must examine how athletes are portrayed in the media. It's easy to discuss the negative of athletes because it's so easy to talk about. And the media is always looking for something groundbreaking and something new to discuss. Social control. Sociologists must examine how the actions are taken care of. This can include ejection from contests, suspension, fine. Reasons for deviance in sport. Heat of the moment pressure. The entire game up to that point builds up and you act out. A lot of times, and a lot of athletes in this class can attest to that after a long game, things aren't going your way, that you just act out of nowhere and you truly don't mean it, but in the moment, that's all you can really think about. The second is pressure to win. My example for this is the Los Angeles Dodgers this season. This offseason, they've spent $1 billion in free agents. This is more than any other team in the MLB, and the amount of pressure they have to win is immense. Financial pressure. The lack of financial stability that the athletes have. So if they're worried about getting a new contract or not making enough money, there can be pressure that builds up to ultimately leading to deviance. The media pressure. As I discussed before, they discuss the negative and scandalous events in sports. Deviant role models. This one here, I have Dennis Rodman. This is Dennis Rodman here when he first started out, but his main game was to try and get in people's head and to do anything possible to throw others off their game. That included getting ejected from games and all of that. He get fined, and a role model kind of like that, kind of like Dennis Rodman today, is Draymond Green, who kind of does the exact same thing. Consequences of deviance in sport. Suspensions to even bans in a particular sport, athletes being fined, draft picks taken away, loss of credibility to the athlete, no longer a role model to fans or young athletes, and these young athletes will never see them the same again because they always looked up to them, but now that they're not doing things the right way, they can't see that person the same way again. It ultimately just damages the reputation of the sport, and in some cases, it can cause legal consequences with the law. And down here, for my picture, I have biggest team fines in NFL history, and I thought it was pretty interesting that the Deflategate in 2015 was the first one because that's something I can truly remember during my lifespan of that happening with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and it's pretty cool to see. And that was $1 million it cost them, which is which is a lot of money. Here's a few short videos of deviance.
Consider this your sign to stock up on sign day. Because right now at Vistaprint, all signs are 20% off.
Happened well after the play. I mean, it's over. The play's over. Whoa. I don't even know what that was about.
Sabonis. writhing in pain. Now watch the end of this play. As he goes out, watch him grab Draymond right there. Now, that right there is where the foul.
So ultimately, in all three of these clips, they're just unnecessary roughness that's going on. In the first one, it was the wide receiver going up to the cornerback and just smacking him in the helmet for absolutely no reason. The cornerback wasn't even prepared, or he was just shocked. The second one, with Draymond Green stepping on Demonte Sabonis, that just not necessary, and he actually did get suspended and kicked out of the league for a little bit of time. And the last one, that was David Ortiz charging the mound and having a brawl. All three unnecessary and not good for any of the games. So the last thing I wanted to talk about in this is a little example called the steroid era in baseball. The steroid era occurred from 1980s to 2000s, where PEDs, which are performing enhancing drugs, became widespread in the MLB. A lot of the major athletes were taking PEDs during this time to be stronger, to be quicker. Baseballs were going farther, more home runs, all that. So how did, ultimately, since these are drugs and it's not allowed, how can they get away with it? During this time in the 1980s and a little bit past that, there was a big lack of testing during this time. The drug testing program was created after this. So factors that caused this era. The lack of testing, obviously, as I stated. Pressure to perform. So for a lot of these players, they just wanted that increased strength, endurance, and recovery, because with the PEDs, it would give all three of them that. And with good strength and endurance and recovery, it would ultimately lead to a large contract signing. So here are three notable players who used steroids in this era. They are Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, and Sammy Sosa. All three pictured down below, and all three not in the Hall of Fame, because most of the players during this era that were using steroids are considered to not be as true, because they were using steroids to pack their numbers. So whatever they did during that time is not seen as fair, and ultimately none of them really are ever going to be in the Hall of Fame, even though they probably should, but they use steroids. So here's a little conclusion of deviance in sport. No matter how many rules are implemented in deviance, deviance will continue to occur. There will never be a way to stop it completely. Sociology can help to gain deviance in sport down to the lowest amount as possible. Understanding why and how deviance in sport happens is a great starting point for sociologists. Thank you.